What's up, boners? It's your boy Batwin, and today I'm with the strongest guy I know, Mr. Joe Shreds, and we're gonna be knocking out a back day for the lazy.
Today we're just gonna go over first stretch from lat stretches and stuff like that, lats, wrist stretches, and then we're gonna go right into the back day. We're gonna go hit some poses, back day
I've been trying
poses.
to learn how to pose because my posing has been terrible. So hopefully I can get some tips today, and you guys can get some tips on how to build a physique like his.
We have 3 stretches today. All of them are kind of dynamic. There's some static holds in there, and they're gonna stretch out your lats and your wrists. That's the main focus here. Really warm that up before we get started.
So you said it's called wrist circles? Yeah. All right, so the first stretch is called wrist circles. I can imagine the importance of your wrist in the back workout.
All right, it's pretty simple. First, you just get on all fours and you pretty much rotate your upper body over your wrist slowly, in first clockwise and then counterclockwise. I like to do about 4 circles on each side. And then when you want to get more intense, you'll turn your wrist all the way over, backhand. So you supinate and then you stretch out from this end and you slight rotations this way. When you put your palm faced away from you or first right to the ground like this and your fingers facing towards you, it's a lot more intense stretch, so I say be more careful with that one. So like this, so you just rotate. I'll rotate clockwise first, in one circle. So circle right over your wrist. There's gonna be a part that's more tense than the other. You just dynamically rotate over it. About there, that's about 4. And then we're gonna stop up here and then we're gonna rotate backward, counterclockwise.
You know, you wouldn't really think your wrists are that important in a back workout. Why would you need to stretch your wrist out if you're gonna be doing mostly pulling?
Yes, because when you do pull movements, you're probably gonna do back and biceps. And when you do bicep movements, you're always activating your forearms heavily. And especially like if you think about something like a preacher curl or curls where you actually go all the way down to the bottom, your wrist flexion is going to be super important at that point. Mess up. Essentially overstimulate. We can stop right here and rotate back here to the back end and stretch all the way through. Sit back and get a deep stretch there.
Yeah, I can definitely feel that one.
But yeah, essentially you're going to use a lot of wrist flexion. And if you think about your forearm workouts, go right in hand with your back workouts.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
There. Okay, and that's it.
All right.
So I'm guessing this is for your lat.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a lat stretch. You're gonna grab one part underhand. We'll go with this right here.
Push foul.
And then you're
Get
gonna
next
grab your
time.
other opposite hand right over it, clasp together. And then the idea is you're gonna drop your hips almost back and sink your hips back and get a deep stretch. And you're gonna stretch your back lats all the way through your back. Yeah, you could practice it really fast.
So just grab it.
Yep.
The lat you're stretching is underhand.
You have to sink your hips back anymore. There. And sink your hips back and lean towards there.
Yes.
And lean towards that side.
Like
yeah,
that.
exactly. And lean towards it.
Oh, I see. Oh yeah, I definitely feel it more.
Yeah.
Just swap hands.
Yeah, swap hands. You just sink in. So you grab, if you're gonna do the left side, you grab the left hand underhand, grab the right hand over, and you slightly lean to your left as you sink your hips down. I like to push this finger to my left leg, get a full stretch, then swap around, up right hand to your right side, right hand under, left hand over, sink it to your right side. Think about almost sinking into that shoulder, and as that hip stretches all the way through the lats. All right.
Awesome.
So second one is pretty simple. You pretty much do like a front rack position, but extenuated. So basically, when a front rack position, you're putting your lats in a full stretch. So you're gonna put your elbows on top of a bar or on top of a box. There, and at the other thing, and you try to sit back, and you keep your elbows tucked in tight. That puts the lats in the stretch position. Tight elbow, sink your hips back, and get a full stretch of the lats there again. And just come back and make it dynamic. Come back in there. You can also stretch this out by deep breaths. So get here and elbows up on the bar, and then just kind of like that, lean in, and then deep breaths into your chest. That'll help the stretch.
And you want to rep it out, or you want to hold it?
Dynamic. So you're gonna hold the stretch position, but you're gonna dynamically stretch. You feel this all the way through the lats right there.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel it.
Do there. Oh. And just a few reps of this combined with the first one, and you'll be good. I recommend about 5 to 10 reps.
The first exercise is going to be assisted pull-ups, and I'm a big, strong guy. I'm like, why not do regular pull-ups? Why assisted pull-up?
Well, assisted pull-ups, you actually get close to the failure. Actually get essentially better muscle activation, better muscle growth. A lot of times, if you think about it, as you do regular pull-ups or even weighted pull-ups, when you get closer to the failure, you start cheating your form, you might start kipping, don't go full range of motion, you don't control the weight down. It's a lot that easily everybody gets in with the ego lifting with the pull-ups.
I'm definitely an ego lifter, and I'm trying to stay true and actually, build the physique rather than, just showing off lifting heavy weights. That's what we're going to do today. And this is something I would do as a finisher, just to kind of, wrap up my exercise. I know I don't have any more in the tank, but
Grab a little low, grab the lower hand. Right there, all the way down, yo. All the way up.
And I always thought the lighter ones
Yeah, with this, you actually, because this one's lower, you actually get to get a little bit more of a range of motion for this machine. Yeah, we're just warming up. Don't go to fail in this one. It's a warm round.
And this is something you can do with on a regular bar with a band.
Yeah, you can do it.
Again, I said this man was the swollest man I know, and it was absolutely no joke. He's about to take off the pump cover. Ladies, keep your panties on.
That's don't slide. Appreciate it.
Slide.
Hard work, 4 years. Consistency, man.
Hey, man.
Start in 4 years right now. See where you get.
Reach back out in 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years, bro. 4 years. Give us 4 years.
So you're pulling out grips. Why grips?
Yeah. Wrist wraps are super, super important because your grip strength is going to give out before your back strength does. Really does. If you really, especially as you're developing your back, it's just going to be always stronger. So wrist wraps really help you focus on your back, especially when you want to grow your back and you don't have wrist straps, you're not being serious. It's like some lifting straps. If you don't have lifting straps and you're trying to build it back, you're just not being serious about it. Either lifting straps or something with chalk, because again, your hands get sweaty when you're lifting. It doesn't make any logical sense. So really, if you want to invest. It's not that expensive. You really do want to have a good eccentric, like a controlled eccentric, nothing too long, like 5 seconds going down, but you want at least 2 seconds. And the more you actually control that eccentric, the more that requires of grip strength.
Would you prefer chalk or wraps?
Honestly, depends. So with chalk, you can actually use that to kind of help progressive grip strength too, and actually just focus on your squeeze, and it just dries out your hand really. So if you really just want to help progressive grip strength while still doing your movements, chalk helps better. And it's the wrist wraps, where your wrist wraps, the natural progression of your grip might suffer a bit. But I just like to use both. When I use both, the grip is insane. There's no flinching. My hand is completely tight, and everything is completely tight in there. Yeah, so I like to do, if I really want to lock in, I use both. All right. So do about our persistence. Here. So control it down.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine. And you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
He said if you don't got straps, you're not serious, but I did not come prepared today, and you can tell who's more serious than the other. So I'm just gonna try to knock it out. What rep range are we shooting for?
We're shooting for about 12. Want to shoot for, really try to get, a little on the high reps, so that we're doing the assisted. So let's say 10 to 12. 10 to 12. Yep. Yep. All the way down.
Wait.
Yep. So
It's like a working set.
yeah, exactly. The assistant at this level is really just trying to help you on the way down the eccentric. So it really just makes you honing on your eccentric a lot better. Nice, come on. Pull hard, chest up. All the way down, come up. That's it, that little boost. Yep.
Yeah. We're past the warm-up stage. I don't know what he means by warm-up. How many sets of those are we doing?
3 working sets. Really do about 3 good working sets. That's why I rarely do 4. I would only do 4 sets. I'm like trying to hone in on the movement and trying to practice it a lot, like a deadlift, a squat, or a bench, even a pull-up too. But today it's part of our workout. Yeah, that's way better. More control down, explode up.
I know he said if you don't got straps, you're not serious, but I did not come prepared today, and you can tell who's more serious than the other. So I'm just gonna try to knock it out. What rep range are we shooting for?
We're shooting for about 12. Want to shoot for, really try to get, a little on the high reps, so that we're doing the assisted. So let's say 10 to 12. 10 to 12. Yep. Yep. All the way down.
Wait.
Yep. So
It's like a working set.
yeah, exactly. The assistant at this level is really just trying to help you on the way down the eccentric. So it really just makes you honing on your eccentric a lot better. Nice, come on. Yep.
Yeah. We're past the warm-up stage. I don't know what he means by warm-up. How many sets of those are we doing?
3 working sets. Really do about 3 good working sets. That's why I rarely do 4. I would only do 4 sets. I'm like trying to hone in on the movement and trying to practice it a lot, like a deadlift, a squat, or a bench, even a pull-up too. But today it's part of our workout. Yeah, that's way better. More control down. So when you're really going hard to failure, even though we do 3 sets, I like to make my first 2 the hardest sets. The third one is often hard to even get the same amount of number with the same weight. So really think about it this way. If you really truly go to failure over and over again, it's hard to get the exact same rep, get the exact same performance 3 times in a row. You can usually get about 1 or 2. That's why I like to either lower the weights or lower the rep count a little bit.
That's perfect.
Right on.
And if you think about it, we're doing the same assistance, but he's a lot heavier than me. So it should be easier for me, but it's actually feeling a lot harder.
How much you weigh now?
175.
175. Yeah, I'm like 198 now. God damn.
Really? So you're under 200?
Yeah, I'm under 200 again.
I know this man has been.
That's it. Pull hard. Pull the chest up all the way. Explode up. Come on. That's it. Yep. Control down. Explode up. That's it. That's it right there. Yep. Control full stretch and explode out the stretch. Explode out the hole. That's how you really want to do it. Explode out the hole. Yep. Like that. And see, with the assistance, he gets to really keep it all on his back. If you try to explode like that on a free weight one, you can start dangling, start swinging, start losing a little kip in.
I see a lot of people, including myself. I'm like, I could do this myself. You know, I am a certified personal trainer, but having another trainer actually push you, walk you through it, like just that little explosiveness at the end, that made it a lot harder. That made me feel a lot more of my muscle contraction, and that's really what you want.
All right. Okay, we're done with it. All right, so real quick, what the type I like to do is, and I want to focus on, is a big hinge. So this movement is a lot more effective the more your back can be more parallel to the floor. If you're doing two upright, if you're two upright trying to row really upright, you're not getting you're not maximizing range of motion. You're not really maximizing a back workout. You're just ego lifting straight up. You're ego lifting, and it's straight up gonna be trash. Your back's gonna be small. The best way to really do this is gonna be harder. You're gonna move less weight, but to make sure you really hinge, fully engage the back while you row. So by hinge, I mean hinge almost like, think about doing an RDO, right? The bottom position of RDO. When you do an RDO, your hips, your whole posterior chain is engaged. All the way from your glutes and your hamstrings, that really engaged everything. And you're gonna be more hinged towards the floor and you're gonna pull. So a lot of mistakes a lot of people make when they get heavy is they start turn into a standing hip thrust. And that's why you just start using your hips and then the ego lift and your back are small. I like to start from the bottom like a deadlift. So I really fully engage my posterior chain. It's like a deadlift right there. Then I roll. Big stretch at the bottom, explode to the top.
So about 90 to 110 degrees, and you want to hold it there. You don't want to, like I said, turn it into a standing hip line.
Right there. So start from the bottom, yup. So I got an RDL, big hinge, chest up, tight chest, yup. Hinge. Yup. Hinge, yup. Yeah. It lights up your whole back this way. Your entire posterior chain is working at one. Yeah, you see?
So maybe 4, but I felt every single rep, and you really want to feel it, that's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, so the way he was doing was not necessarily wrong in a sense, right? Because you were doing it with a good range of motion, essentially. This wasn't exaggerating. Mine, I like to just try to maximize it as much as possible. That's why you gotta, well, your hamstring flexibility gotta be on point for this too. Yeah, that's straight up.
This is big boy weight right here. Don't go in.
And watch the form, and then listen, it's not about the weight, it's about the form. Watch the technique. It's about technique. Technique, and put that in the caps right there. Technique. All right.
Don't go trying to do this weight if you just starting. Start with something light and then work your way up.
Yeah, bro. That all comes with time.
Just like he said, watch the form. Still perfection.
Fully engage your posterior chain, your glutes. Then hinge. Yup. Chest up a bit more. Tight. Hips. Hinge. Really hinge into it. Better. That's it. Yup. Hinge. Lights up your full back. Yeah, you can literally see his back just shining through the light. His whole posterior chain, whole thin. That's it.
So a lot of people argue they don't want their girl to have a big back.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Pun intended. Yeah. Why is working and training your back good for females?
Super important for female. It gives you more defined back. Obviously, it gives you more definition in your back. It's also one of the largest muscle groups on your upper body you can really build on. So you want to build that overall muscular mass, because especially after menopause and women get older in life, it's a lot harder for them to start putting on muscle. So it's really important that you, one, build that
nice frame. Like I said, you're still gonna have a feminine frame. They're worried about almost looking
Looking like a guy.
Looking like a guy, but that's not really gonna happen. You're not a guy.
You don't just wake up and look like this.
Yeah, you don't. Trust me, you don't accidentally. Trust me. I've had women who are worried. They're saying, they want to get they want to get fit, but they don't want to look like me. And they think this is gonna accidentally one day just look. You're not gonna accidentally look like me. I promise you, not accidentally you will not accidentally look jacked.
This isn't just weight training. This is, nutrition. This is, consistency, and this is just years and years and years of hard work.
Yes, it doesn't. It's not an overnight accident, right? So it's especially why it's even more important for women to have that intentionality in that back workout, because also it's going to help a lot with your leg movement, right? Because a lot of women, they do want to do legs more, but guess what? When you're doing a lot of leg movements, you need a strong back. A lot of women want to squat. Where does the bar go? On your back.
That's true.
Right? Very simple. It's very simple things like that.
So, quick question.
Yeah.
Where exactly do you want the bar to land on your chest during the pull?
Yeah, that's a real good question. So you actually want to aim this bar about to your upper stomach. So you're almost thinking about like you're pulling toward yourself because you're hinged over. You should end up hitting about close to your upper stomach. Now, if you do like an underhand grip, something different, that's when it's a little better to hit your lower abs and essentially in that under part. I don't like to do underhand barbell rows just because I like to load real heavy and I want to minimize the chance of bicep injury, right? When I'm really getting that explosiveness and that big contraction, like fully extending my biceps like this with over 225 pounds rocking back and forth, it's just not smart.
You think that's more dangerous? Because I would think underhand grip is easier, right? For pull-ups, underhand grip is easier. So how come it's not easier when you're doing a row?
Well, start thinking about the mechanics of a row. You're taking a weight that's often sometimes heavier than your body weight, and you're slowing up. And then when you're controlling that foot eccentric down, a full eccentric right there, you're basically putting your bicep in a fully stretched position as much as possible.
So your bicep is the factor that you want to limit the injury from. It's not like a back injury.
Exactly. A bicep injury, I'm thinking about this, and that's a reason why you see professional heavy deadlifters, the heaviest in the world, you will rarely see them actually do underhand, right? And there's a reason for that, because of the increased bicep injury, risk of bicep injury. It's not something that's common, right? But something that you want to limit, especially as you progressively over and you get stronger and stronger every single week, as you should be. Yeah, new things can happen. Want to minimize that stuff.
Exact same thing.